Welcome to episode 1 of Better Than Delivery, where I cook delicious meals at home to save myself from the regret and disappointment that sometimes comes with ordering in. We're starting this series with a delicious dense bean soup with lamb and veggies. Let's get prepped so we can get cooking. I, like many, have been working on reducing how much I order in so I can reduce the amount of money I'm spending on meals and to avoid waiting too long and paying too much for food that is cold, poorly packaged, and sometimes just not good if it ever arrives. I also love cooking and variety, so I sometimes struggle with cooking at home and throwing away leftovers because I simply can't bring myself to eat them for the 4th time in as many days. And I do hate that kind of waste as well. So here we are making delicious meals, leaning into my love for making content and for good food. Let's start off with the soup. It's winter, it's really cold outside at the moment that I'm editing this video, and this is really appropriate because I had actually gotten a little sick right at the moment that I had the inclination to make the soup for the first time this winter. The soup is something I made up when I got to New York City, got back to New York City rather. This is my second venture into living in New York City. I was sick once. I tried making a chicken noodle soup with a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. It tasted horrible, and I figured I should probably have some good soup recipes in my repertoire. And I honestly just felt like these flavors would be good together, and I perfected over time. But honestly, thinking about it, I haven't really made that many adjustments since the first time that I made it and kind of just concocted it, and it all worked together. So it's a mix of ground lamb, white beans, mirepoix, oregano, and beef broth, finished off by sweating some fresh kale on top, often, if not always, served with a crunchy and really gooey grilled cheese, which if I'm going to have soup, I need a grilled cheese. That's just the way I am. I think that's the way God intended, right? One really important part of cooking at home, aside from making sure that you're prepped and not trying to cook and chop vegetables and season and everything all at the same time, is definitely cookware. I'm really fortunate to have some great cookware, and over time I realized I love cooking, and I love all my great quality cookware. This is a stainless steel all-clad pan. I've realized that I didn't buy pretty much most of my cookware. But I also was smart enough to ask for it as a gift from my mom whenever it was a holiday or a birthday. And she's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I would like a Staub Dutch pot, thanks." And this all-clad pan was actually something, I made a TikTok about this, that I got in a giveaway pile in my building here in New York. So I feel like I truly manifested it because I wanted one. I was like, I want a all-clad steel pan. And I've been looking at the price of them, and I'm like, they're really pricey. And I was looking specifically at all clad, and I saw people thrifting them, and I was like, I really don't want to put forward the time to go thrifting, so I may just have to pay for it full price. And I swear the same day I went down to my package room, there was a pile of stuff. I'm like, what is this? Is this up for grabs? Because I saw the pan, and the person who was there was like, yeah, you can take it. And I was like, what on earth? What in all manifesting powers is going on? But I took it, I didn't ask any questions, and I treated it and got it really clean and nice, and now I've cooked some really great stuff in it, and I'm really happy about it. And then my Staub Dutch pot, like I said, was a gift from my mother. And then the Le Creuset Dutch pot that I have, that's a little bit smaller than this one, is actually, I ended up not paying for it. I went into a Williams-Sonoma, I got it on sale. I swear I swiped my card. I don't steal. And the charge just never came off my card. I have no idea what happened. That was years ago. So thanks, Williams-Sonoma. So I browned this meat. And then one thing I like to do is use the fat from the lamb meat that I'm making the soup with to saute the vegetables, just to really help layer the flavors. And I seasoned the meat after I got it in the pan, and then I seasoned the veggies after I got them in the pan. And I will say, one thing that I want to work on for this series is recipe development. which I've kind of been working on in my personal life and really taking down methods and ingredients and amounts and all the things that it takes to make a recipe effective and useful. But I do not quite have recipes down yet, so I would say loosely this is something that you can use as a idea, but I don't have like a formal recipe down. But if you watch what I'm doing, hopefully you can pick up. At this point, the soup has really started to come together. A lot of the flavors have already been built up. I don't even simmer this soup for very long once it comes up to a rolling boil because it just doesn't take that long. It's really simple, and it's something that I can avoid ordering in with for a couple of nights at the very least, especially during the winter when you want something warm and cozy and rich in flavors and fiber and all those good things. And luckily, I feel like for the prep for this and also just in general, it doesn't take that long. I would say maybe an hour, hour and a half max for this meal. And I guess maybe that's longer than a usual time. Sometimes I order delivery and they quote me like 40 to 50 minutes. And I don't have to do anything else for those 40 to 50 minutes, but the outcome is not usually as good. So I'm really happy with this meal, and I did eat quite a bit of it, shared it with my boyfriend, and I think this has to be like maybe the 20th time that I've made this soup. It's really, really good. I made a grilled cheese to go with it. I also sweat the kale down on top to finish it off, and I usually sweat the kale by every serving, if that makes sense. So like when I initially make it, I put the kale on top for the first time that I'm gonna eat it. And then when I store it, there's like very little kale left in there. But every time I warm it up, I put fresh kale on top. So you have that great roughage. I feel like this is a great soup for your digestive system. There's a lot of good fiber and nutrients and all that good stuff. And it's just nice and cozy. So yeah. Not pictured is the delicious grilled cheese that I made with this, but this pretty much brings an end to our first episode of Better Than Delivery. I hope this has inspired you to make something good and to not order in crappy delivery, and check back next week for the next episode.